Why can't I cry? Why can't I wear pink? Why do I have to be stronger than everyone else? Why?
Man equals dude in my world, right? Like, I just always think men are your stereotypical sport fanatic.
A typical man would be like strong and like manly.
A typical man in Western society is someone who is tough, strong, brave.
Muscles, beard, big, like their body, bigger than your like girlfriend. More brawn than brain.
Somebody who is strong and big and muscular and protective.
Guys are seen as like tougher and stronger and like guys don't cry and all that kind of stuff, and that is super negative because if you don't fall under those like very specific words and stereotypes, then you don't feel like manly enough, you don't feel validated enough to be a man.
Not able to show any emotions. No crying.
You can cry, it's a human emotion.
Crying is so important.
Knows how to put weaker people in their place.
You can't wear pink because that's a girl color.
Try to impress everyone around them, especially if there's women around them.
Dominant ideas about masculinity are ever present in the media. We're bombarded with them from the time we're very, very small.
The very first thing that came to mind was those Calvin Klein ads.
Perfume ads.
Like shirtless models, like with like the straight face, like they don't even smile.
A guy and a girl, and they're very toned and like perfect.
All us dudes are supposed to have this perfect, perfect set of abs or a perfectly shaped butt.
You gotta have the guy haircut, and you gotta have the shoulders and the
Yeah.
abs and
You gotta
the
be strong.
When we're looking at films and videos, men are often the subject, the main subject of those stories. Even though women might be present, they're often tangential.
There's like abs.
There's
like
like-
the guy has abs and he's like really muscly and he has like short hair and he's usually white. He's usually like a pretty good looking guy. He has like the smolder going on.
My name is Jordan Belfort. The year I turned 26, I made $49 million, which really pissed me off because it was $3 shy of $1 million a week.
CEOs and a lot of the people that are higher ups, it does seem to be more male-driven, more male-centered.
I think success comes with the pride and the masculinity, and to be masculine you need to have pride and be successful, is the way that it seems to be portrayed.
Growing up as a teenage boy, I felt like I needed to become something for my parents. And seeing a lot of, successful men and women in my family having professions and bringing up their own families, I felt like I needed to follow through and do the same. So as I was older, without getting married until I was a little bit older than I guess the standard, societal norm, I started feeling those pressures more. As far as, I knew I was successful in my teaching career, but I didn't feel successful in my family.
A former NHL prospect has broken a barrier.
Brock McGillis of Sudbury has spent most of his life hiding his deep, dark secret. The former OHL goalie is now publicly coming out as a gay man.
Recently, he published an emotional coming out letter.
I grew up in a hockey family, a very liberal family. My parents are loving and couldn't have cared less. They were involved in hockey though. My dad was involved coaching and stuff. My brother played in the OHL, I had a cousin that played in the OHL. And I feared that if I had come out to them and somebody made a homophobic comment, which is very common, that they would have said something to defend me and I would have slipped in and everyone would find out. And when I was younger, I was a rated prospect for the NHL and I had a bunch of injuries. A lot of them I think I brought on myself because I was dealing and hiding so much. I went through that hyper-masculine phase of my life where I thought I was, you know, God's gift. I thought I ran the world. I thought I was a rock star. And then over time, I had different things, whether it's suffering from depression because I was hiding my sexuality, being suicidal. I knew I wasn't happy. And if you're not happy, you have to change something. As I recognized I was gay and started dating men or going to gay bars, I saw really flamboyant, feminine men, and at first it made me uncomfortable. I didn't understand it. I saw drag queens and I didn't understand it. It made me uncomfortable. But over time, I became to realize that they're happy. That's who they are. And they're not hiding it. And it made me realize that I can be happy and I don't have to be this hyper-masculine, macho guy all the time. There's times in my life where that's who I am. You know, and then there's times in my life where I can be a feminine man. And I think it's more of a spectrum. In hindsight, I wish I would have came out in my teens. I wish I would have came out back then. And it's great to say now. I mean, hindsight, it's wonderful. And once I learned to love myself and accept myself, because nobody else can accept you, and it's a term that's used a lot, acceptance. And I think that's BS. Because acceptance means that for a heterosexual to accept me, that means I'm below them. And then they're letting me at their level. Well, we're all the same. So the only one that can accept me is me. The only one that can accept either of you is you. You're playing hockey, everyone's talking about girls you hooked up with, or you're back home for the summer and everyone thinks you're... People used to treat me like I was, you know, I would walk around my high school like I was a rock star. I sign autographs, and you have expectations of who you are and what you are, and everyone's like, oh, this new girl's really hot. Well, I have to go wheel her. And that's my new girlfriend, because everyone says that she's the hottest girl at school. And that's just expected. That was what it was about. You're expected to be macho and rugged, and if there was a fight or anything, you're expected to be involved. You had to meet these expectations of something that isn't real. And for what? To get the acceptance and approval of people that aren't happy with themselves? It's bizarre.
When I first started teaching, I taught at St. Charles College, and it was a single gender school, but it was all males. And oftentimes when certain behavior that would be exhibited by some of the young men, I found that all too often there was a willingness to accept inappropriate behavior under the guise of saying, well, boys will be boys.
Oh, boys will be boys.
I hate it.
Yeah,
Oh God, I hate it so much.
I think it's almost insulting.
Because that's just excusing something.
Lending to the idea that that's just the way that they are. They can't help how they are.
Boys will be boys is one of my favorite sayings because it illustrates perfectly how ideals of masculinity reign supreme in the minds of men and women.
It's never been used in a good way. It's always been used to excuse like, oh,
Like,
well,
excuse
they're beating each other up, or like,
Boys can be boys.
It's funny because when you hear sexism and sexist tendencies and things like that, it's the immediate thought's always in reference to a negative treatment of a female, right? So yeah, the statement "boys will be boys" for sure. Rowdy bunch of kids. Somebody did something stupid.
How many times have you heard a mother excuse a little boy's behavior, you know, punching or hitting or hurting someone else by saying boys will be boys?
I can't beat up Casey and then be like, oh, girls will be girls. Like that's not how it works.
At the end of the day, we're all responsible for our actions.
In this day and age, you know, if we're really trying to achieve gender equality, which I think we're still striving toward, it's funny how that statement can be considered very sexist toward a male.
Boys will not just be boys. Boys will learn to respect one another and to respect women.
Ultimately, though, I mean, it's a human being.
Young men don't have to grow into that box. Young men can actually change what it means to be a boy and a man in our society.
And at the end of the day, I am who I am, and I'll continue.
If you say you're a man, good, great. Then you're a man.
It's a person who bleeds the same color that you do as a young female, my sister does as an older adult, you know.
I think as a society, we're making a bit of a shift. We're trying to take down a lot of the barriers that we have based on gender, based on skin color, based on religious belief, based on sexual orientation. You know, I think we're trying to be a much more well-rounded, inclusive, accepting, tolerant society. Maybe are we there 100% yet? Maybe not. But I think, you know, this conversation that you and I are having now, I said, you know, 50 years from now, I'm sure that whoever's answering these questions, you're going to see some progress. You're going to see some leaps and bounds ahead of where we are currently in a good way.
Masculinity is forgiveness, and masculinity is a spectrum.
Hello, my name is John, and how I express my masculinity is none of your business.
In line, keeping myself trying